Right before I took the stand in court, a guy burst in, jabbed a finger at me, and shouted, "You're the one who wrecked my family, not the guy on trial." I stopped cold in my tracks. The judge's gavel slammed down sharply. Two bailiffs quickly headed to the rear of the courtroom. I was there as a witness in a big embezzlement trial. 6 months back, I turned in my old boss, Marcus, for skimming over $400,000 from our charity. We aided families in need with shelter support. He'd been ripping off folks who had zilch. Today it was meant for sentencing. I'd finished my statement already. The DA had fingerprints on files, online logs, the works. It was a slam dunk, but this dude in a shabby gray suit kept hollering from the seats. "He's clean." She pulled it off. "She set him up. She's the thief who took it all." My attorney jumped up. "Your Honor, this guy's not on any list. He has no right to speak here." The judge's expression tightened. "Get him out now." As the bailiffs got to him, the man yanked a fat envelope from his coat and flung it skyward. Sheets scattered like confetti, account ledgers, email copies, transfer logs, photos. "Check the proof," he bellowed while they seized his arms. She moved the funds. "Not Marcus. It's all in there." I saw the pages drift down like flakes over the courtroom tiles. My palms began trembling when I spotted my name on multiple sheets. My handwriting, transfers linked to my staff code, times and sums I'd never encountered. The DA knelt and grabbed a ledger. His face shifted. He snatched another, then more. Marcus's lawyer nearly vaulted from his seat. "Your Honor, we demand a break right away. This is evidence that clears him, withheld from us." My mouth went dry. Those files were plastered with my details, my marks, but I'd never laid eyes on them. The judge eyed the clutter blanketing his space. 30-minute break. "Bailiff, gather all these papers. No one exits." They led me to a side room. My attorney joined, but she avoided my gaze. That's when I sensed she doubted my story. My fingers kept quivering. Those marks matched mine perfectly. The deals showed cash flowing from charity funds into what seemed like my own accounts, ones I didn't own. Through the door's tiny pane, I watched the frenzy. The DA was calling someone. Marcus's counsel grinned for the first time in ages. The intruder was cuffed but still chattering, gesturing wildly. 20 minutes ticked by, then the door swung open. A lady in a jacket entered with a computer. "I'm Agent Chen, Forensics for Finances. I have to quiz you on this." She loaded the files on her display. "Know these deals?" "No, none of it rings a bell." "These account digits yours?" "I don't use that bank." She keyed in data, switched screens. Her look eased a bit. "When did these get made?" my attorney pressed. Agent Chen spun her device. Per the hidden data, most files popped up in the past 2 weeks. The messages have phony stamps. The marks are slick edits in software, but pasted in digitally, and these accounts aren't real. Relief slammed me so fierce I nearly blacked out. We headed back to court. The DA spoke to the judge. "Your Honor, expert review shows these are total fakes, whipped up lately with image tools. The listed accounts aren't in any database." The judge flushed crimson. "Who's the guy who tossed these in?" "Vincent Harmon, Your Honor." Marcus's sister's husband. He's a freelance artist in graphics. The man Vincent sat in the back, flanked by guards. His smug look had vanished. "Mr. Harmon," the judge intoned icily, "you're arrested for court contempt, justice obstruction, and fraud plot." Vincent resumed yelling as they hauled him away. Marcus's kin. I couldn't let him rot for what he didn't do. The doors shut after him. The judge faced Marcus. "Your initial 8-year term is now up to 11 years, plus counts for scaring witnesses and scheming." Marcus ended up with 11 years, and his brother-in-law faced charges too. Here is the next story. Right before we cut the cake for my birthday, my cousin Maya looked straight at me and asked, "So, when are you going to tell everyone the real reason you had to move back home?" The room went completely silent. My Aunt Sarah froze while she was lighting the candles. My mom's happy expression vanished. Uncle Pete stopped mid-chuckle. I felt a tight knot in my throat, and my palms instantly felt sticky against the edge of the dining table. "What are you even talking about, Maya?" My cousin didn't break eye contact. Her gaze was fixed on mine, serious in a way I had never witnessed before. "I saw the restraining order documents in your glove box last week. The one against your ex." My stomach plummeted, as if I'd stepped off a massive drop. I hadn't told a single person why I truly left the city, not even my parents. I'd simply claimed I needed a fresh start, that the rent was too high, or that I missed being near family. All of it was untrue. My mom turned to face me, her features contorted with bewilderment. "What restraining order, sweetie? What's she talking about?" Before I could form a reply, my dad stood up from his seat. "Maya, that's enough. This is not the appropriate time or place for this." But Maya wasn't backing down. She leaned forward, her voice rising. "She's been sleeping at our house 3 nights a week because she's terrified to be alone, right?" My hands began to tremble under the table. I desperately wanted to deny it, to tell everyone that Maya was inventing stories, but I couldn't make the words come out. My ex had been appearing everywhere for several months. Near my apartment complex, outside my office building, following me on the subway ride home at night, sending texts from multiple burner numbers and leaving aggressive notes stuck to my car. The final straw came the night I returned from work and discovered him inside my apartment, sitting on my sofa in the pitch darkness, just waiting. He'd somehow managed to obtain a copy of my apartment key. That's when I threw some clothes into a bag and drove 6 hours back to my childhood home in the middle of the night. That's when I formally filed for the restraining order. That's when I stopped feeling secure anywhere. My Aunt Sarah rested her hand gently on my shoulder. Honey, is this true? Has someone been threatening you? I managed a slow nod, and the tears started flowing before I could stop them. I just didn't want to burden anyone with my problems. I thought I could manage this myself. My mom's composure completely broke. She moved around the table and pulled me into a fierce embrace. You should have told us right away. We could have helped you. We would have protected you. My dad's jaw was tightly set. Who is this guy? Tell me his name. It doesn't make a difference anymore, I whispered. The restraining order says he has to stay 500 feet away. It's finished. But even as I said the words, I didn't believe them. Then, my phone vibrated on the table. Everyone looked at it. A text message from an unfamiliar number illuminated the screen. Happy birthday. See you soon. My blood ran instantly cold. My hands froze solid. I couldn't breathe. My cousin saw the immediate shift in my expression. What is it? What does it say? I showed her the screen with shaking hands. She grabbed my phone and read the message out loud for everyone to hear. The birthday cake was totally forgotten. The candle still flickered. The room became utterly silent. No one moved. No one made a sound. Then my dad's voice sliced through the silence, calm and menacing in a way I'd never experienced. Call the police right now! My mom was already pulling out her own phone, her hands visibly trembling as she started to dial. Uncle Pete stood up and walked to the main window, pulling the edge of the curtain back slightly to look outside. There's a car parked across the street. Engine is running. Can't see who's inside. My aunt locked the front door with the heavy deadbolt. My cousin pulled down all the window blinds in the living area. My dad grabbed a metal baseball bat from the coat closet. How long has that vehicle been there? Uncle Pete asked, still peering out. I don't know. I didn't notice it when we arrived. My phone buzzed again, another text. Nice family party. Your mom looks stunning in that blue dress. My mom was wearing a blue dress. My hands were shaking so violently I dropped the phone. He was right outside, watching through the windows. He had been watching this whole time, waiting for me to feel safe enough, waiting for me to let my guard down just for a second. The police dispatcher finally answered, and my mom started speaking rapidly, giving our address, explaining the emergency. My dad opened the front door, the bat held tight in his hands, and now for the next one.
I updated my phone's lock screen to a photo of myself. My fiancé asked if I was intentionally trying to attract attention. I genuinely thought he was teasing until the silence stretched. His face was absolutely serious. What are you playing at? David asked, his jaw tight. Playing at what? I countered. That picture, he said, gesturing toward the phone lying face up. Putting a full-body photo of yourself as your screensaver. That's what women do when they're looking for validation. I stared at him, waiting for the cynical joke to break, but it didn't. It's literally just me hiking a mountain trail, I said flatly. Precisely, he shot back. You're showing off your physique, your independence. Who exactly are you trying to provoke a reaction from? I reminded him it was my property. My device. Nothing you do is in a vacuum when you're about to be married, he stated. Every personal choice reflects on our partnership. He picked up my phone from the kitchen island. Switch it to a photo of us, he instructed. When I refused, the look on his face was chilling, like I had just committed an act of betrayal. So you admit it, he concluded, his voice low. You want other men to see you when you check the time. I tried to explain that no one sees my phone but me. Then why not use a picture of my face? He demanded. Or a nice one of us. Why does it have to be you, solo, looking so exposed? I asked him what he meant by exposed. You know what I mean, Jessica. That running gear, the aggressive pose. You're fishing for flattery, and it's transparent. I pointed out that he'd actually taken that exact photo last spring and praised it. I was proud of us then, he amended. That was before you started acting like a free agent. The comment landed with a deafening thud. A free agent? Because of a photo on my lock screen? It's more than the lock screen, David said, starting to pace the tiles. It's the pattern lately. You started listening to podcasts in the car instead of calling me. You get your nails done without mentioning it. You laughed with the plumber a little too long when he fixed the disposal. My jaw dropped. Those are all perfectly mundane things, I whispered. Mundane for a person who's actively seeking admiration, he snapped back. You think I don't notice the subtle shift? You think I'm oblivious? I walked over to the dining chair because I felt dizzy. David, I changed the wallpaper because I finally felt powerful in a picture I saw of myself, I said, the words barely audible. That's the honest, sole reason. He stopped pacing and wheeled to face me. See, that's where the fundamental disconnect is, he said. Why do you need to feel powerful because of a photo? You have me. I tell you you're exceptional every single day. That is absolutely not the same thing, I insisted. It should be, he countered. If my approval meant anything, you wouldn't have to constantly display yourself. A cold, heavy sensation settled deep in my core. So, self-acceptance is off limits for me? I asked quietly. That is a ridiculous manipulation of my words, he exclaimed. I'm saying there's a distinct difference between inner confidence and blatant egotism, and putting your own selfie as your home screen is stepping over that line. It's not a selfie, and I didn't broadcast it, I defended. It's my phone's background. No one sees it but me. Then change it to something else, he yelled. A city skyline, a landscape, anything that doesn't scream availability. I let out a harsh, humorless laugh. A photo of me on my personal phone sends a signal to the wrong kind of person. Is that what you think? Yes, he said, his voice hard. You think men don't dissect these things? They see a woman using her own image as a background and think, she's full of herself. She'll be easy to reel in with a compliment. I stood up, my legs steadying. That is truly unhinged, I said. You are inventing a whole narrative that exists only in your insecurity. I'm safeguarding you, David argued, his voice now booming. I'm trying to ensure you don't compromise yourself or me by radiating these messages. What messages? I roared back. That I have a backbone, that I'm allowed to like an image of my own face. He stepped closer, his volume dropping to a controlled, dangerous whisper. You're being overly emotional. All I'm asking is that you factor in the impact of your trivial choices on our bond. Is that honestly too much? I looked at him, so assured of his own righteous perspective, so convinced his paralyzing jealousy was a form of devotion. Yes, I said, my voice quiet but firm. It is too much. His expression crumbled. What? It's too much, I repeated. Demanding I get pre-approval for my phone's display is too much. Telling me I can't feel good about myself without your specific validation is too much. Making me feel like a criminal over a snapshot I enjoyed is intolerable. He reached for my arm. Honey, wait please, he pleaded. You're blowing this out of proportion. We can find a compromise. I pulled away. There's no issue to resolve, I said. You either place your trust in me or you don't. And what you're showing me is a total lack of faith. I trust you, he said quickly. I just don't trust the predators out there. That is the exact same thing, I said. If you truly trusted me, it wouldn't matter what some hypothetical stranger thinks or does. He ran both hands through his hair, defeated. Fine, he sighed. Keep the stupid picture. I genuinely don't care anymore. But I could read his eyes like an open book. He would care. He would resent that image every time he saw it. He would make passive-aggressive remarks. This conflict would never die. I grabbed my bag and car keys. Where are you going? He asked, a sharp panic in his tone. To my friend Sarah's, I answered. Over a lock screen, he scoffed. You're throwing away 2 years because of a stupid photo. I stopped at the front door and turned back one last time. I'm leaving because you made me feel obligated to justify my own existence, I said, looking him in the eye. The picture was just the catalyst that made me realize it. I drove to Sarah's house. She didn't pry or question, just handed me a glass of iced tea and let me have the sofa. David texted me 8 times that evening, calling me hysterical, claiming he was only trying to protect our commitment, and that I would inevitably regret ditching a serious relationship over a flimsy boundary. And now for the next one.